Let's make some cupcake wrappers and toppers with our Cricut machine today.
The supplies you'll need are as follows. So you'll need some heavy chipboard, some thin wire, some craft board in white, and then you'll need some iron-on materials. So I have a black glitter, a red glitter, and a blue holographic. The iron-on colors as well as the paper colors, completely up to you. You can customize this to your party theme. So let's get started making this cupcake wrapper. So you'll need to first cut your pieces with your Cricut maker. So these are the pieces I cut. So this is the hat out of chipboard. Now I cut enough of every piece to make 2 cupcake wrappers, 2 cupcake toppers for illustration purposes. And then there's a whole sheet that gets cut out of the white craft board, and that includes your cupcake wrappers, your balloon pieces, your hat pieces to cover up the chipboard, as well as some arms for the wrapper. And then you also need to cut your iron-on. So when you cut the iron-on, you want to mirror all the images, and then you want to cut it shiny side down on the mat, and then you want to weed away all the excess iron-on. So that includes around the outside of all of your pieces as well as the centers of any letters. Weeding tools make weeding your iron-on super easy, but you do not have to do that. Now we talked about supplies. You'll also need something to put your iron-on on your paper. So I'm going to use my Easy Press. I'm going to use the smallest Easy Press and my Easy Press mat, but you could also use an iron as well. You just need to be careful that you get it down really well when using an iron, as the heat is not as consistent. So now it's time to add our iron-on to our cardstock. So you can find the recommended time and temperature for your Easy Press on the Cricut website. They have an interactive guide that will show you everything you need to know about using it for a variety of materials. So I just picked cardstock, and then I picked holographic and also glitter iron-on, and found my recommended time and temperature. Now I would also recommend the carrier sheet around my iron-on covers most of my paper, but not all of it. So I would also recommend they have a sheet, protective sheet, and I would also recommend putting that on top of it. You can use parchment paper instead if you don't have their protective sheet. So then we'll just put it down, press the button, and it'll count down for us. So this is 290 for 30 seconds is what it recommends for this. I would definitely check the Cricut website beforehand though. They're constantly tweaking things to get the best times and temperatures for various materials. So I would check before you press. And then the Easy Press beeps when it's done, and I can remove it. And then we can let it cool for just a second, and then we'll peel back this protective sheet, and our iron-on is on our cardstock. So we're going to repeat the same method for our balloons as well as our cupcake, the face on our cupcake wrapper. Now that all of our iron-on pieces are pressed, now we can assemble our cupcake topper first. Let's start there. So once you have some adhesive on the back of one of your hats, then we'll just apply it to the front of our chipboard. And then on the back, we're actually going to sandwich in a popsicle stick, and that will actually hold it to the cupcake. So let's put a little adhesive, add the popsicle stick, and then another paper hat, making sure we have it the right way. Just cover up that on the back with the paper. So now we have our cupcake topper ready for our cupcake. Now for our cupcake wrapper. So we've added our iron-on already, and this will wrap around, and then you can secure it with the notch and some tape around your cupcake. But on the sides, we want to add an arm. So the arms were cut with the maker, and we just want to fold on the end of the arm just slightly so that we have the area for our glue. And then we'll just add a little adhesive and stick those right to the side. And then when it's folded around the cupcake, your cupcake will have arms. So now we just want to add our balloon to one of the hands, and we're going to do that using some wire. So we're going to get a fairly long piece of wire and one balloon that doesn't have any iron-on attached. And then first thing we're going to do is sandwich the two balloons together with the wire in between. So we'll add the wire and the second balloon. So now we have a balloon that's ready for the hand. Then I like to make this wire somewhat swirly just to add to it. You can absolutely skip this step, but I'm just going to wrap the wire around a pencil, and now it's a little swirly wire. And then we're just going to use the end of the wire and wrap it around the hand of our cupcake wrapper. And then we just want to secure it in the back by wrapping it around a few times. Then once you wrap it around the hand, you can kind of adjust the wire if you need to get it to look correct. Then you'll wrap it around your cupcake, and your balloon will stick up and it'll look like the hand is holding the balloon.